Okay? The issue of one of the conditions of the contract being haram. Okay? Does that make the whole contract haram? Or that makes that part haram? So there is in the credit card, there is this condition that if you don't pay on time, we will charge you interest. So, thus, even if you can avoid the interest, and that's something all anticipated, and you're not planning to pay, but you can never guarantee. You don't know. Alright? You don't know what would happen. Okay? So, that is where the ulama, a lot of them, came to say that it's haram. That credit cards, the way we defined it, is haram. Even if you know that you want to, even if your intention is you want to pay on time. Okay? And you don't want to deal with interest. They said because other conditions might be the reason for the haram. But this condition itself, the fact it exists in the contract, it will invalidate it and makes it impermissible or haram. Okay?
Can you accept credit card payments in a business?
Now in the business is different because you're not borrower or lender. You have nothing to do with it. The reason the credit card is haram is when for the person to use it. Because he's a borrower. Now, if the credit card doesn't charge, some doesn't charge if you're late, and they charge you only fees that the cost, like they do it as a service, then that is halal. But where is that? Now someone might ask, who would do that? How is the credit card or the issuer will guarantee his money? Okay? If he tells you, if you tell him, if you're late, we're not going to charge you extra. Who's gonna pay on time? Right? One of the things that the ways they solve this is they cancel the card, and then they go after you legally with what you owe. Okay? That is one of the ways that they do it in some of the Muslim countries. They close they cancel the card, and then they'll go after you legally.
Two questions for you. One, even if the business is charged a service charge for accepting credit cards, for example, you pay 25 cents for every transaction, every credit card transaction, that a business has to pay, courtesy of the bank to you.
The business pays to whom?
Pays to the bank.
To the card issuer.
Right.
Okay.
I think that's a policy they have with the bank, that if you're going to accept credit cards, you're going to pay a service charge of 25 cents for every transaction. The second one is that if you had a delinquency or late payment, and the bank said that we're going to settle with you and you just pay us a certain amount of money. Now, if you subtract the interest, what you owe is a little more than what the bank is asking for. Can you still go ahead and pay what you owe? And
all right. About the first thing, again, there is no lending and borrowing between the merchant and the bank, the one who's accepting the credit card. Okay, so if they choose, if he agrees that they charge him 25 cents, then that is okay. That is because that's not between the deal between you as a business owner and the bank is not lending and borrowing. Alright? It's a service they provide for you and they're charging for it. About the second part, I think we discussed that.
The borrower is getting the benefit.
Yeah. So who's benefiting here?
well, you are.
Yeah, the guy who used the credit card, right?
The person who's the bank.
And you are in this transaction, a lender or borrower.
The borrower.
Yeah. And we said any benefit for the borrower is permissible. So that is what they call forgiveness policy. العلماء يعني it's, if you owe me $10,000 and I see that you are slacking, then I come to you, I said, listen, pay me 5 and I forgive you the rest. That is okay. But don't take advantage of me. Yeah.
First give, then we take advantage. You didn't
Say what?
First give, then we will take advantage.
I'll give you first.
Give first.
The upper hand better than the lower hand.
That's why I didn't ask you.
So basically, no credit card.
No credit card. I don't see any exception for credit cards. Especially with the checking cards. I think that completely eliminates the chance to say there's a necessity. Because checking card works exactly like a credit card. So buy what you can afford.
Checking, yeah.
What's the checking card?
Some of the debit cards.
The bank, debit card.
Debit card is okay to use, right?
Yes.
Some fundraiser, they ask you to complete credit card.
Inshallah alayhi. Of course. Some fundraisers tell you it's okay to pay zakat to build a masjid. That's not their concern. Because, I mean, again, it's not credit card. They call it credit card, but it can be checking card. That's maybe their intention.
There is some type of debit cards,
Yeah.
like the between half chicken and half credit, where you put a certain amount as a deposit in your bank account, but they'll still give you a credit line.
CD.
So that falls into the credit card part. Because some people may not qualify for the credit card because they have a bad credit.
Okay.
So they require for them to put $1,000 or $2,000, let's say,
And they'll
for
match
example, in the bank. They'll match it, like they'll give you a 4,000 credit line.
Okay.
So they
4,000, 2,000
Yeah,
is
they
yours?
trust you 50%. They don't trust you 100% like a credit card.
So
Those are
it's 100% haram. It's not
Yeah.
50%.
That's actually those are the debit cards. That's how it's started.
Huh?
Those are what's called the debit cards.
Really?
Yeah, the other ones are checking
Checking
cards.
card,
But
exactly.
now we call them debit
Yeah.
cards and checking cards are mixed.
Usually when you have to put a password, it's a debit card.
Yeah.
A PIN, right? Yeah.
What about the debit cards? Similar to what the brother was saying, with the Visa logo, and sometimes you buy things.
Where's the money coming from?
Your money.
Your money?
Yeah, but when they use it as credit, it's not right away. Sometimes they take a week.
But because you have money in your bank, that's why the card works. Have you ever used a credit card and got declined?
No, I don't know if you have.
This debit card that has the logo, does it receive declines? Of course. And you have no money in your bank.
So you're saying you use a debit card, but sometimes you go to the register and they can say debit or credit. You say
All these
credit.
are names. But usually whether you say credit or debit, it's coming out of your account.
Right,
So who cares? I say credit when I use my card because I don't want to be putting a pin. I don't even know the pin, for example, you know? But it's coming, when I go home and I check, it's already minus
French.
$40, forget it.
Well, and some emergency happens sometimes, you don't have enough money in your debit. Then you have to have an operation. They're going to charge before you go to the operation. We have to charge credit.
What's the question?
If there's exception to the rules, if you have not enough cash.
Yeah, it's you see that the bottom line boils down to the point where the fact of having the credit card is haram. So there is no point to have it, period. Because if you have it, most probably you're gonna use it. And you're gonna make an excuse for yourself. You're gonna say, this is a necessity, this is emergency, that means I can use it. But if you don't have it, most probably you're gonna look into halal means. Okay? But if you have it in your pocket, and as you said, the scenario you said, or the situation, or even any other situation, or I'm buying or whatever, and I forgot my money at home, and I have the credit card. So you're gonna justify it for yourself to say it's emergency. Alright? So you go